Hello, everybody, and welcome to a recording of our parent night that was held last week. So, welcome to our school year. We have superstar learners that will learn to infinity and beyond, and our Eagles are definitely learning like they've never learned before. That is for sure. Let's see. At our parent night, our first grade parent night, Mrs. Randall was present, as well as all of the team members, myself, Mrs. Blanca, Mrs. Ham, and Miss Hers. Our ESL staff here at Eugene Ware is Mrs. Cordis and Miss Sochi. Our intervention teacher, reading intervention teacher, is Mrs. Biondi, and our special education teacher is Mrs. Lawless. Mrs. Randall started out the meeting. We played a few games, and then she just stressed the importance of attendance. School does start at 8:30. Even in the virtual world, it does help your child if they are on right at 8:30, so we can get started with our day. Preferably, we would like them to have already eaten breakfast and gone to the bathroom and have done all those things so that they are ready to learn at 8:30. Our attendance policy is still the same, just the way it was if we were in the building. So if your child is sick or is going to have a doctor's appointment, you would call the school just like you would if we were in the brick and mortar. If your child's going to be there in the morning but has an appointment in the afternoon, you would still call the school. You can let the teacher know, but you need to call the school because that's where the records are being kept. And their teachers have a lot going on, so it's hard for them to communicate that to the school as well. Remember, that the same things apply as far as excused and unexcused absences, and the truancy policy is enforced. Then she talked about asynchronous versus synchronous learning. And those are terms that you're going to hear in the virtual world. Asynchronous means independently or by yourself. Synchronous means with the teacher. Right now, we're doing a lot of synchronous learning in first grade. But as we move on, it's going to become more asynchronous. That doesn't mean they're not going to work with me, but it just will be a shorter amount of time. Please be mindful of the amount of help that you're giving your child. I personally am so grateful to have so many parents that are readily available throughout the school day to help their child. But balance it for sure, because if we were in the classroom, it would just be me and them. And they wouldn't have someone right there to help them, to reread something or to point to something. They need to be paying attention to me, and they need to be getting their directions from me. That doesn't mean I don't want you to help them at all. Page numbers have especially been something that's been super stressful in this virtual world, whereas if I were in the classroom, I could just go over and help them. So if you wouldn't mind helping with page numbers, especially during math, that would be great. But just remember, balance. Also, we talked about the fact that you're allowing us into your home every day. If you realize it or not, your child's camera and audio are on, and we can see everything behind your child. So if you're watching a television show, or you have guests over and you're having a conversation, or other siblings are fighting or playing, we can see all of it. The good, the bad, and the ugly. So even if your child has headphones on and maybe you can't hear us, we can hear you. So again, we are so appreciative that you're allowing us in your home every day, but just be mindful that we can see and hear everything that's happening in your home. We also discussed the rules for our first graders. I'm sure all of you have seen this by now. This was included in the packets that went home at our first deployment. Remember, we are stressing to them to Zoom from a quiet spot. Most of you have found that place in your home, and we appreciate it. Also, that being respectful. As I just talked about, we can see and hear everything in your child's background. So, be mindful of that the other learners on the Zoom, as well as myself teaching, if there's a lot of commotion happening, then it's very, very distracting. So just be respectful in that way. As far as materials, it would be really nice if your kids could have their materials right close by them, to where they could just access them on their own. They don't have to leave their space and run and find you and say, "Where's my math book?" I suggest leave it. You could have left it in the cardboard box that it came in. Some of you have organized it so nicely, and your child knows where their stuff is, and I appreciate that. So that's something else. As far as the Zoom times, so these are the Zoom times that your child needs to be logged into my Zoom. 8:30 a.m., 10:20 after we take a recess break. Then they'll go to specials at 12:30. I'm not sure if I can move this. Oh, I can. Yay. Okay, I'm going to move this. 12:30 for specials, and then 1:40 for math. Now, as we go on, the times might change. Of course, I'll always make you aware of that. But these are the specific times they need to be logged in. And up until now, I've really tried to text. That may be going away. It's really hard for me to manage texting parents and teaching. So if you could just be real helpful in trying to get your kid on at those times. So we are continuing to take grades. So one of the things that we're going to be asking on a daily basis is 2 times a day at the minimum. We will be asking your child to upload assignments to Seesaw. And this is how they do it. These are the icons you would see in the Seesaw app. They would press the plus sign, then they would press to take a photo and take a picture of their work. Then they can press the microphone and read, especially their writing about reading that we're doing in the mornings, especially at this stage of the game. If they could read it, that would be great. Sometimes it's hard to decipher, especially seeing a picture of it. Make sure they check the green check mark so that they are able to send it to me. Here's an example of first grade writing. It says, cows eat grass. You can see just by looking at that there's some misspellings. It's not pronounced grammatically correctly, in a grammatically correct way. And we are aware of this, okay? Developmentally, this is where your first graders should be. They should be using their Smarty writing to stretch out words, to hear the sounds of the letters that they know, and to write them down, okay? I've had several parents say to me, "You're not spelling that correctly," or "Mrs. Blanke, you left out a letter." I did it on purpose. I do know how to spell. I promise you that I do. But your child doesn't know all of the things that you know as a proficient reader, as an adult. And so we need you to allow them to use what they know about letters and sounds to write it. They might not have all the letters, and it will not be spelled correctly 9 times out of 10. As we move on and we work with sight words, I will start holding them accountable for those words to be spelled correctly after we've had time working with those. But other than that, this is the kind of writing I expect to see every day. And just know that if your child is asking you to spell, just say, use your Smarty writing like Mrs. Blanke says. That is what I say to them in the classroom, okay? And I really try to stick to that because they've got to try, and you're not going to always be with them, and neither am I. Another thing that I want to share with you is that these are just some tips that could help you. So renaming your child's screen name on Zoom. I don't know if you have taken a look, but if you look at your child's Zoom screen and other kids are on there during our class time, you'll see that some have names and some do not. Some just have like a 16 letters and numbers, and it would just be really nice if I knew it was your child. Sometimes they close their camera, or they are not directly in front of the camera, and it's hard to know who it is. It's also hard when I'm allowing them to come into the classroom and admitting them. Also, please be sure to close down your apps every day. Press the home button 2 times, swipe up to get rid of those. Keep your iPad charged. Be sure to charge it every night. I know that some of the iPads are having a hard time, and just be mindful of swiping those apps, plugging it in, and that should help. If you need to know how to do any of these things or other things, feel free to text or email. And then we have videos of all this we could send to you. And then I already talked about it a little bit, but your child may need help finding pages in the workbook. One of the things I suggest is I've sent some Post-it notes home. And just sticking the Post-it note on the page that they're on. And then that way they at least have a place to start the next day when we're looking for one, and they can then put the Post-it note on that. They can keep moving that Post-it note as we move through the book. Our next deployment is going to be October 7th, 8th, and 9th. At that time, you'll be able to come pick up new materials, and when you do that, we are going to include more Post-it notes, so that will help with it too. But in the meantime, if you can help find a page or two, I would really appreciate it. So, as you know, at Eugene Ware, we have what's called Excellent Eagles, and this is a privilege for students in our school who show amazing character. Every month of the year has a character trait. As you can see, back in March, it was respect. April was courage and ambition. May was citizenship and integrity. And let's see, September's responsibility. So back in the spring, we were not able to celebrate these students and the fact that they were our Excellent Eagle. They get a badge, and it really is a badge of honor. So please notice here, if you see your child's name listed, and you can see that for September, that Shania Mitchell was our Excellent Eagle, and congratulations to her. So this is something to strive for. This is something to, set as a goal for your child. So we just wanted to celebrate them since we weren't able to do that last year. And I believe that's it. So at this time, I'm just going to say that, as always, you know that you can reach me by email or phone or text. If you have any questions, please let me know. And just know that I am enjoying being your child's teacher, and I really, truly appreciate all the help that you're offering this year. And it's going to be a great rest of the school year. Thank you.